Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the Department of Excuses Department here in Car Talk Plaza. Now, this is the time of year when we begin to see tourists here in our fair city, and even though we move the garage like every 2 weeks to avoid the Internal Revenue Service, people find us nevertheless, and they always come into the garage, and I know who they are. They have the cameras around their necks, and I go over and greet them. And
they don't have a car.
They don't have a car. They're not driving it either. And,
Right.
I go to meet them, and I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Ray. Welcome to the garage and our fair city. And after noticing the look of disappointment on their faces, they inevitably ask for Tom because they figure, he's got to look better than this guy.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And because my brother's never there, I feel compelled to make up some excuse. So I would say something like, he's just gone out for coffee. You missed him.
Just missed him. Yeah.
And at which point,
They'll say,
people
"We'll wait."
say, we'd love a cup of coffee. Where did he go? We'll meet him there. So that doesn't work. So then I say, well, you're not going to believe this. He just stepped into the bathroom. How long could he be? I said, well, he did take in the complete works of Honoré de Balzac, so he may be tied up for a while. We'll wait. Well, then I started to use the excuse, it's his day off. I figure that's good, right?
That'll get you out of trouble.
We'll be in town all week. We'll come back tomorrow. And I'm getting sick of making these excuses. I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it. It's wearing me down.
So what do you propose?
I'm going to tell everyone you're dead. I just say to everyone, he ate a kielbasa bomb off the coffee truck yesterday.
And that was
we found him dead at the kitchen table, and that's it. Don't ask for him anymore. He's not here. Yeah. It's brutal.
Well, I know it's difficult. I'm sorry that it has to happen.
Well,
I'm sorry that you have to be the
There should be a designated day where you show up at the shop and just hang around. Or maybe we could do a cardboard cutout. People probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to...
Well, thanks for covering for me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Get out of the bathroom. If you want to talk to us, the number is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Mita, and I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Mita?
Mita.
M-I-T-A?
M-E-T-A.
M-E-T-A.
Yes.
Mita.
Yes, isn't that charming?
Yeah, well,
Mita.
it is.
Would you like to meet a woman from Texas?
Oh, you're so funny. And will you sing Lovely Reader Meter Maid? Because I never hear that either.
What kind of a name is Mita?
It's kind of a joke from the 60s, I guess. No,
It is?
No, I'm teasing. It's supposedly Greek.
Mita. You pronounce it Mita.
I do. That's the way my mother pronounced it. I could be saying it wrong.
Hey, she's the one who chose
it's
it.
my name, right? So I can pronounce it. Actually, my dad's from New York, and he calls me Meter.
Meter.
And I said, Dad, my name's Mita. He said, I named you that. I'll call you anything I want. So,
There you go.
so what are you going to do?
So he was in on it, too.
I think so.
So anyway, what's up, Mita?
Well, I have a 1992 Mitsubishi Expo.
Yeah.
I've had the brakes done on it 2 or 3 times, and most recently now, the car kind of vibrates just slightly when I'm just above 60. But then when I go to apply the brakes, the car really shakes a lot when I'm depressing on the brakes. And my husband thought that perhaps it was like a strut. And I didn't know if there was still a problem with the brakes because as I'm applying the brakes, I'm still feeling a little bit of a grinding.
Aha.
Has anyone looked at this car?
Hopefully they had their eyes open when they were installing the brakes, so that's up for question.
And how long ago did they do that?
Probably about 8 months ago.
And it was okay for a while.
Yes.
I think that one of the new discs they put on is warped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
A warped disc, you say?
A
Yeah.
warped disc, he says.
All right. Well, I will explore that avenue then.
Well, I mean, it's a classic symptom. I'm surprised. I mean, if you had gone back to these guys and explained this to them, I think they would have jumped right on that.
Well, see, I wasn't sure if it was a brake thing or if it was something like the strut, which was not even at all involved. And I'm a little distrusting.
Oh, so you... I
Always the issue, isn't it?
Well,
Do I go back and blame?
Guys.
Who do you blame?
You didn't go back because you were afraid that they were going to attribute this vibration to something else which would cost you money to replace.
It's like you know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is dangerous, actually, because, I mean, what if this was something terribly dangerous? You waited all these months to do something about it because you're afraid of I'm not sure what you're afraid of.
Here's what you do, Mita. Go
Yes.
back to these guys. They're going to ask you to fill out a repair form.
Okay.
When you do that, do not give them a phone number.
Okay.
Okay, just tell them about your complaints and tell them they did the brakes, and you would expect that if one of the discs was wrong, that they would in fact replace it free of charge, and they should agree to that. But do not, under any circumstances, give them a phone number.
Or
that
give
way,
them the wrong phone number.
right. That way they can't call you and say, "Oh, you need struts and da 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 da." So it can't cost you money if they can't reach you.
Oh.
And tell them, "Don't do anything unless you call me."
So do I indicate to them my suspicions that the disc is warped?
Yeah, tell them that both your husband and your boyfriend think it's a warped disc.
Yeah.
All right?
Very good. Thank you so much.
See you, Mita.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Oh, hi, guys. My name's Ted from New York, Flushing, New York.
Hey, Ted.
Hey, you didn't have to tell us where you were from. We could tell.
You can, hi.
Why? Because you sound like you're from New York.
Oh, we don't all sound alike.
Yes, you do.
What's going on, Ted?
Well, I have a little problem with my van. I bought a Dodge van in '91. It's a customized van.
This is a full size. This is like a B250 or something?
Exactly, a B250.
Gotcha.
And it's nice. Has a TV and, captain's chairs and
Yeah.
a fold-down rear seat, folds into a bed and stuff like that. And
So what
the
do you do?
van
You
is
like go camping in Central Park with this?
Well,
No, he goes out to the Mets Stadium and parks in the
Kew
parking lot.
Gardens.
Kew Gardens. I like the way you say Kew Gardens. And you say you can tell I'm from New York. Never guess where you guys are from. Anyway, the van has a little bit of a problem. From the first day I got it, it was raining when I picked it up. And as you're riding in the rain for the first 5 minutes, everything is fine. But then you start getting this wobble. Not a wobble like a physical wobble, but a sound wobble, like a go wonka, 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 wonka. And I took it to my mechanic, and I says, "What do you think it is?" So he says, "Oh, it's probably water inside the between the body and the floor, the outside body and the floor of the van." So put it up on a lift, and sure enough, there was some weeper holes there that were a little bit clogged up with paint. He drilled them out, and water came out, and that was the end of it.
Really?
But you would hear this, would this be in step with the speed of the car, this wonka, wonka, wonka? In other words, if you doubled your speed from 10 miles an hour to 20, would it go from wonka, wonka to wonka, 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 wonka?
You kind of, yeah. Kind of like that.
And did
but
you ever experience vibration?
No.
Okay.
No vibration.
Continue
There
the
goes
story.
Plan
Okay.
B.
So the van was fine until it rained again. And after 5 minutes, sure enough, there would be that wonka wonka sound. So I took it back to my friendly mechanic, and he put it up on the lift. And lo and behold, there was no water. Nothing. But it was just annoying. It really didn't affect the driving or the steering or anything.
Wonka, wonka, wonka.
Well, if you take a wash tub, an old-fashioned...
Sure, and you let the water slosh back and forth.
No, it's not a slosh. It's more like a.
Oh,
It's what you get by shaking a piece of sheet metal.
There you go. That's exactly what it sounds like.
oh, that sound.
Oh.
And is it constant?
Yep. But it's a little bit more pronounced when you hit a bump.
A little more pronounced when you hit a bump, but only when it rains.
Well,
Wow.
I remember there were some Buicks and some other GM. I forget
Pontiacs.
Buicks, Pontiacs, but I first heard about it from Buicks that had a problem with an exhaust system that was a shielded pipe or a heat shielded pipe, and it was I believe it was the pipe that led to the catalytic converter.
That sound.
Okay, and what would happen when the thing got heated up? It would expand, but then if you drove the thing through a puddle, for example, and got the outside of it, that is that part of the wrapping of the pipe, cold, it would begin to contract. And it was the movement of one pipe against the other that would make that wonka wonka sound.
Only when it got wet.
Oh.
And I would try an experiment. I would try getting the thing hot, getting the car hot, and you get out your garden hose.
You don't have to be moving to do this.
You don't.
This is good because it would be tough to do what my brother's going to suggest.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to
moving.
hose
Get a
down
long
the
hose.
exhaust system from underneath.
Let the engine get good and hot,
Okay.
and then sprinkle the hose on it.
Now you have to be moving to get the noise.
Yeah. When we're just standing. Well,
You
either
might
that
not
or
have
lock
to
in
be
the van.
moving.
You may be able to get a hint of it by doing what I suggested, by hosing down the exhaust system. And if you can do that and get a hint of it, then you'll know. And it must be exacerbated by the vehicle moving.
Sure.
I think I should give that a shot.
Give it a shot, and your wife can always strap you to the underside of the vehicle and drive along.
Yeah. Good luck, Ted.
Why, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure
See you
talking
later.
to you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay, now before we give the answer to last week's puzzler, we have to take a short break.
Yeah, my brother's donut gauge only says a quarter full.
We'll be back in a minute.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
These days, there's a lot of news. It can be hard to keep up with what it means for you, your family, and your community. Consider This from NPR as a podcast that helps you make sense of the news. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a story and provide the context, backstory, and analysis you need to understand our rapidly changing world. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.
Great conversation makes for a great party. But how do you ask the questions that really make the room come alive? Well, here at Life Kit, we got you.
What is a path you almost took but didn't?
On our latest episode, how to ask the magical questions that'll make your party sparkle. Listen to the Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Sean Diddy Combs could go to prison for the rest of his life if he's found guilty of charges including racketeering and sex trafficking. Keep up with the trial by following Here and Now Anytime, a daily podcast from NPR and WBUR. We're covering Diddy's trial, the rest of the news, and a lot more. Every afternoon on Here and Now Anytime.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. And here is the answer to last week's puzzler.
What was the question?
I'm glad you asked. I have
It had to do with me.
Here you go.
I called you.
Here you go.
I needed to get towed
Right.
because my car broke down.
Right. And here it is. Many, many years ago, I
I'm so
received
smart to remember.
a late-night phone
And
call.
I'm proud of myself.
I received this late-night phone call from my brother, and I know it's one of two things. Either his wife threw him out and he needs a place to sleep, or his car is broken down.
Or both.
It's his car. He says, I need help. Do you have a rope to tow with? I say, yeah, sure, I'll be right there. So I watched Ted Koppel, Tonight Show.
That's because you didn't ask me where I was. I had to call you 3 times.
I take a shower.
I'll be right there, he says, and he hangs up. I say, wait a minute, you don't know where I am?
I make a sandwich. And then finally, after the third phone call, I decide to head out and give him a hand. Anyway, I arrive with my car, tow rope in hand. He's asleep in the car, of course, snuggled up with one of his favorite raccoons. And he tells me what's wrong with his car, and I say, I can't tow you, you knucklehead. And he says, we only have a few blocks to go. I'll tow you. I say, huh? But he's right. What's wrong with his car? Don't forget, he's the one that broke down. And he's going to tow me back?
Yeah.
How could this be?
How could this be?
Well, what's wrong with his car? And the reason I
This
can't
is good, man.
tow him
This
with
is
the
so
rope.
good.
It is so good.
It is, really
and I
is.
know I used it before. I never would have let a good one like this
You
slip
never
through.
used this before. Never.
Dougie says no.
Absolutely not. You know my memory.
There are two people in the universe on whom we can rely. One is Dad,
Yeah.
and the other is Murray Preisler.
Exactly right. Call them up. Find
Right?
out. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Murray may have it on tape, and I know Dad does because he's what?
Got
He's
everything
keeping
on.
3M in business. Anyway, the reason he can tow me and I can't tow him is that his brakes have failed. And because I have a rope, if I tow him, when I stop, he's going to slam into me. But if rather he tows me, when he needs to stop, he can signal me, and by my stepping on the brakes,
You stop me.
I will stop him as well. Pretty cute, huh?
Jeez, that is very... That's very good.
And our winner
I mean, that qualifies as a superb puzzler.
I wouldn't get carried
Because
away.
the answer is so obvious as soon as you hear it.
That you say, Mamma mia!
Porca miseria! Do we have a winner?
Yes. Who was our winner?
Oh, here it is. Ooh, another name I can't pronounce. Marion Freuwald from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And for having her correct answer chosen at random from among both of the right answers that we got this week, Marion is going to get our unencumbered by the thought process coffee mug. Oh, on one side it has my motto in Latin, non impediti ratione cogitationis. And on the other hand, the English translation, which is, unencumbered by the thought process. And we had to consult with many, many Latin scholars before we got this wrong. I wonder if it's right. Non impediti ratione cogitationis.
Well, you know,
I like it.
the real experts never come out of the woodwork until you put the thing in print.
And then they say, that's not right. So, hey, drop us a line. We can take
drop dead. Anyway, we'll have a brand new puzzler coming up in the third half of today's show, an automotive puzzler, I might add. So don't touch that dial. In the meantime, we'll take your calls at 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's, of course, 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Yeah, this is Mike Scott out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Hi,
Hey,
Mike.
no last names. From where?
Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Okay,
Okmulgee.
Oklahoma would be good.
No, spell it for me. I'm trying to learn about the geography of this country.
Okmulgee.
Okmulgee.
Wow, that's cool.
It's up there close to Tahlequah and Potawatomi and all this.
Okmulgee. And
No kidding.
we're in Oklahoma. I mean, what part of the state?
What does it matter?
Well,
It's
I'm
the
just
northeastern
curious.
part of the state, just south of Tulsa.
South of Tulsa. I mean, what kind of a word is that? Is that like an Indian word of some
Yeah.
kind?
Yeah, it's creek. It means boiling water.
Boiling Water, Oklahoma.
You got it.
Cool.
That is okay, you know?
That's the slogan.
I love it. So what's going on, Mike?
Well, I've got this 85 Cadillac Seville.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I bought this about a year and a half ago, and just for extra transportation because got too many cars and kids and what have you in the family.
Yeah.
And found out that this car wasn't using oil, but it was going through a quart of oil about every 150 miles. I came back from Tulsa one evening, and the daughter wanted to borrow the car to go to our shopping emporium here in Okmulgee called Wally World. And anyway, when she got back, she said the car was making a funny noise. Well,
No.
somewhere between my house and the store and back, the tailpipe around the manifold had come loose. And since that time, 2,000 miles later, it hasn't used a drop of oil.
Huh?
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 I'm trying to figure this out, why it has quit using oil.
So the tailpipe is still loose
Not the tailpipe. It's the header pipe.
Yeah,
Came
right.
loose. The head pipe came loose
from the manifold.
Right.
I love it. I got it.
You do?
You got it?
I think what happened is this.
Yeah. Ooh, go
I
ahead.
think
Yeah,
this car had a leaky head gasket. Okay? That's where the oil was coming from.
A leaky head gasket.
When the pipe broke away from the manifold, it didn't break away completely, but it separated enough so that it was spewing hot exhaust gas onto the area where the gasket was leaking. And it like cauterized it. It sealed it right up. Well, if you can come up with the theory of coolant spraying on the temperature gauge, I'm entitled to something stupid once in a while, too.
Well,
Go ahead, you come up with something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's good. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. No,
Come on now.
no, I can't do better than that.
No, of course not.
Well, I can't do better than that. I mean, obviously, if we're going to assume that both of these incidents are related,
Which we have to because
which
Mike
we have
swore to
He
it.
swears to it. Mike swears to it.
Right, Mike?
I mean, it has even got better gas mileage. I've gone from
Yeah, let's not
17.8
get
to
carried
22
away.
It's not complicated.
Well, the better gas mileage is understandable, too, because you have less back pressure in the system, so it would improve your
Yeah,
mileage.
that would do that.
So it all fits together.
So, I mean, the pipe is still disconnected.
Yes.
Sort of. It's like hanging there.
It's not too badly disconnected. The motor's not too loud.
Well, it may be that you could fix this leak, and now the oil consumption will stay
Yeah,
where
I mean,
it is.
so I would tighten that clamp and see if the oil burning stays away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had my own theory on this.
Oh.
Oh, you got
Run
one
that
too?
by you.
Is it as good as my brother's?
I think it might be better.
Okay, go,
Holy
man.
cow. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that since it has blow-by valves where you are reburning the fuel,
Right.
that maybe the PVC valve was clogged up.
Yeah.
And by this coming undone, the pressure has been relieved. And before there was so much pressure, it was probably blowing through a leaky gasket or something.
No, that wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think so.
That is, although that sounds very good, the pressure is in the wrong place.
All right.
I think.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mike, even though you've given this considerable thought, and I came up with my answer, unencumbered by the thought process.
Yeah, but
I think mine has a slightly better chance of being true.
Yeah.
All right.
As lame-brained as it sounds, I'm sticking with the leaky head gasket.
Well, we'll know. When you fix the exhaust leak, let us know what happens to the oil consumption.
Oh, I will, because I was just worried that if I fixed the tailpipe to make it run quieter, that I was going to go back to the oil problem.
Well, you can always loosen up the
motor.
You're going to have to take a chance.
You can always disconnect it again.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Hey, thanks for calling, Mike. Good luck.
Thank you for your help.
See you later.
All right.
Bye-bye. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, my name's Nancy,
Nancy.
and I'm calling you from Meriden, Connecticut.
Nancy, we can tell you in advance.
Yes?
Do whatever you want.
Well, then I'm going to take it off.
Okay. Woo.
But no. Wait.
Okay.
I'm married to a wonderful man for almost 49 years. However, he has a terrible weakness.
Young girls? No, never mind.
No, I think he's given up on those too.
Too old for that.
He's a gadget lover.
Ah.
And he's been giving me gadgets since 1949. and my problem is we have a 1996 Acura, and he's decided that he's going to protect it by putting what I'm going to call a snood on it, because I don't like the word,
A bro. We'll call it a bro.
Oh, all right, I'll go with that one, because I looked a bro. Anyway, the first couple of times he took it off every time it rained, because the directions claim that it is apt to damage the paint.
Yeah.
However,
for those that don't know, we should explain what this thing
Most
is.
people don't know what this thing is.
Okay. You don't see them very often.
You don't see them very often because they're so stupid.
Well, good. May I quote you?
You certainly may.
And what this thing is basically is a brassiere that covers the front of the nose of the car.
It covers the nose of the car, and you may have seen people mostly. I hate to be BMWs are the ones that you see these on many times. It's covering the front of the car like a bra.
I think it's very ugly myself.
It is the stupidest little device I have ever seen.
And does it really do the job?
Who cares?
I agree. In other words,
the job of this thing, ostensibly, is to protect the finish in the front, because it's the first line of defense, so to speak.
As you're driving along the highway and all those big semis are in front of you.
And all the little stones and pebbles and dust and bugs and whatever is on the road are smashing into the nose of your car. This is designed to protect it.
However, the directions claim that if you don't take it off when you wash the car, et cetera, then you're going to damage the paint. So you're kind of doomed if you do and doomed if you don't.
Yeah. I don't think there's that much up there to protect. I mean, what is it protecting? The headlights are there, the grille is there, and there's a little bit of paint, and then there's the very front of the hood.
Then I'm going to go out and make sure he takes it right off.
You know what to do? Cut it with a scissors.
You have to almost.
I mean, if it's ripped, he won't be able to use it. He surely won't go out and buy another one. Must cost $150, huh?
It was very expensive, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
That's just another gadget I can put.
On the other hand, it's not doing any harm to anybody.
No.
Right, and if it's keeping him out of your hair, to have him out there putting it on, taking it off, picking it on, taking it off.
Yeah, maybe you should leave it on.
Well, thank you.
I don't think your husband bought it for the overt reason of
You don't?
protecting the front of the car.
What do you think?
I don't know. There's some deeper psychological meaning
yeah,
to it.
I don't think we need to explore this on this show. But I think...
No, I don't think it's that. I think it has to do with
that's what it is.
Oh, my word.
No, it has to do with BMWs.
Okay.
I think he wants to be a BMW owner.
If he tells me the next car we're going to get is a BMW,
You'll know that I was right.
I'll know.
Yeah.
Well, you people are like a Bible for us.
Nancy, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
I was going to mention something about the Victoria's Secret catalog, but I won't. Nancy, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Now, before we get to the new puzzle, we have to take a short break.
Yeah, because I can see from the steam coming out of your brain that it's starting to overheat up there.
We'll be back in a minute.
A lot of short daily news podcasts focus on just one story. But right now, you probably need more. On Up First from NPR, we bring you 3 of the world's top headlines every day in under 15 minutes. Because no one story can capture all that's happening in this big, crazy world of ours on any given morning. Listen now to the Up First podcast from NPR.
These days, with all the information coming at you, it can be hard to know what's accurate, what's not, and what's worth your time. Here to help you navigate it all is 1A. 5 days a week, the 1A podcast provides a forum for curious minds to explore different angles on the biggest headlines and give you a more balanced take on what's happening. Listen to the 1A podcast from NPR and WAMU.
Keeping up with the news can feel like a 24-hour job. Luckily, it is our job. Every hour on the NPR News Now podcast, we take the latest, most important stories happening, and we package them into 5-minute episodes so you can easily squeeze them in between meetings and on your way to that thing. Listen to the NPR News Now podcast. Now.
We've all been there, running around a city looking for a bathroom, but unable to find one.
Hello. Do you have a restroom we could use?
A very simple free market solution is that we could just pay to use a bathroom, but we can't. On the Planet Money podcast, the story of how we once had thousands of paid toilets and why they got banned. From Planet Money on NPR, wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the new puzzler.
Yeah?
This is a brand new one. It was inspired by a photograph I saw in the paper recently.
No kidding.
Yes.
Ah.
Picture this.
We discussed this just the other day.
We did, in the green room.
In the green room.
Yes, during one of our endless hours of preparation for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, if the truth be known, that's one of the reasons my brother isn't at the garage when he should be, because he's spending 18, 20 hours a week.
Preparation is everything.
Yes.
And people don't understand that. Yes. I remember when I was in the old days when I was a college professor, and I would teach 3 hours a week. And people say, "You work 3 hours a week?" No, I don't work 3 hours a week.
I work 4.
I work 1 hour a week. Preparation is everything. You think we just walk in the studio and come on, everyone knows.
I remember a few years ago when my brother was about to resign his lucrative professorial position, and he presented the evidence to our father and told him that he was going to leave because it was just too much. And my dad says, "Well, I mean, if it's too much, I mean, couldn't you work instead of 5 days a week, couldn't you work like just 2 days a week? Wouldn't that lessen the burden on you?" And Tommy says, "I'm only working 1 day a week now."
And he still is incredulous. He doesn't understand.
1 day. He walked 1 day a week.
He's mumbled. Every once in a while, even today, he mumbles.
And he's quitting. I don't understand.
1 day a week.
Well, anyway, here's the puzzler. I'm driving down the highway, and I see way up ahead one of those diesel tractor trailers spewing from its smokestacks the vilest, blackest, thickest, most acrid smoke imaginable.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, I'm closing in on the guy, and I realize that after a minute or so that he's pulled over to the side of the road. And the thing is running, and the smoke is just pouring out. So I pull up next to him, and I put down my passenger side window, and I say, "Hey, knucklehead, you're killing everyone behind you. Why don't you shut this thing off?" And he says, "I did. I turned it off, but it won't shutoff.
Oh.
All right?
Yeah.
I got to remember the rest of it now because this is very important.
This is important, yeah.
And I say to him, well, obviously something's wrong. Why don't you stall it out? He says, I can't. It has an automatic transmission.
Oh.
And he says, but don't worry. In a couple of minutes, the engine will be seized. And I say, really? And I look at an emblem affixed to the side of his truck, and in an instant, I know why.
Yep.
What did that emblem say?
And
there was an emblem affixed to the side of the truck.
And part B
is what was happening.
What was going on.
All right, what did the emblem say? But if you know what the emblem said,
you'll know.
You'll know what part. It's unnecessary to explain.
Exactly.
Like they always say, show your work. No, you got the answer. That's good enough. We don't need the work. It's just unnecessary.
Or if you saw the same picture in the newspaper that we saw the other day,
then you'll know the
answer. Then you'll know the answer also.
So if you think you know the answer or the boss is away this week and your cubicle happens to be near the stamp machine, you can send your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our Fair City.
Matt 02238. Or you can email your answer from our website, which is cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random from among all the correct answers, you'll get one of our unencumbered by the thought process coffee mugs.
Now, wait a minute. Before you say the next thing, do you know what the cosine of 79.11590889189 degrees times 10 billion is?
Sure. 1-888-227-8255.
That's right.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Where the heck are you?
I'm in Euless, Texas, and this is Kelly.
You're in where, Texas?
Euless.
Euless.
How do you spell that?
It's like shoeless, but without the SH.
It's like EULESS.
Euless, Texas. What part of Texas is that?
It's between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yeah, we got a fix on you.
Yeah. So what's up?
I have a 1989 Buick Park Avenue. It was a gift from our parents-in-law 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Since the day we got it and probably before, it does this. All on its own, hot, cold, morning, night. Doesn't matter. It goes. You got that? I'm walking out into the garage to stick the kids in the car seat.
And it starts doing the brrrr.
And it just starts doing it like it says, good morning.
I just want to make sure I understand. Your in-laws gave you a 5-year-old car?
Less than that.
They were trading up, so they gave us this car. It had 100,000 miles on it when they gave it to us.
I just don't want to set the wrong precedent here. When my in-laws decide to give me a car, I want it to be brand new.
Yeah, that kind of was...
Well, I think it's very sweet of them to have thought of you.
Yeah.
All right, now, what was this thing about the It does
okay,
that?
It's like it converses whenever you see the car. It decides...
Oh, so your premise is that when you're not there, it's not doing this?
No.
Oh, no, it's doing it all the time.
There's no way to know, of course, because of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Right, and the tree in the woods theory.
Exactly.
Right. You want to know what the noise is?
I have a feeling it's the fan.
No, it isn't the fan.
It isn't.
No, what it is, it's the auto leveling thing that this car has. This thing has a pump, and it has sensors which tell the car whether it's level or not. For example, if you were to load up the trunk with suitcases, 500 or 600 pounds of suitcases, or if you would have put 500 pounds of mothers-in-law in the back seat.
I was going to say this is not an appropriate time for the mother-in-law story. She gave her the car.
But if, for example, if you did have 500 pounds of mothers-in-law in the back seat, then this thing would kick in. This little pump would kick in, and it would send air pressure to the shock absorbers in the rear and would actually raise up the rear of the car to make it level again.
Okay.
There must be a leak in the system somehow.
If it loses pressure, then it will think that the car is unbalanced, and it will try to balance it by turning on the pump.
So is this something we should fix?
You could if you chose to, if it was easy to find the leak, or you could just ignore it. But now that you know that it's something benign.
Yeah, but it might be running 24 hours a day for all we know.
Well, when it begins to run 24 hours a day, then you'll find where the leak is.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what's the matter with that guy?
Here's my other problem. I have 2 kids and a husband that won't buy me a new car.
How old are the kids?
2 and 1.
Oh, brother.
Tell him it's time for the Suburban. Say it for me. Say it.
Oh, it's definitely time.
You mean you don't have a Suburban, Kelly?
And we're from Texas, and we don't
And
have
you're
a
from
Suburban?
Texas?
Yeah,
everyone in Texas has
You
one.
deserve a Suburban. I can see you in a Suburban.
Yeah, you're going to need it with those 2 kids. 2 and 1.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
all right, Kelly.
We'd love to stay in chat, but it's getting to get on our nerves.
It's obvious that you're busy. Oh,
yeah, I agree.
I agree. The kid says, I want a Suburban. I heard him.
So now every male listening to your program is going to say, I'm so glad I go to work every day.
Oh, yeah. We know that.
See you, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, it has happened again. You've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk.
Yes, we have.
Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion Berman. Our associate producer and Dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Crystal Ray, and our engineer is Jonathan.
Wait, how come you just skip over Catherine Crystal Ray, who happens to do all the work? She does everything.
From now on, the
She's
credits
going
will
first.
read.
Catherine Crystal
Our
Ray.
assistant producer is Catherine Crystal Ray.
And that's about
And
it.
we'll start there from now on.
Right, yeah.
And our engineer, of course, is Jonathan Superhighway Sideburns Marston. And, of course, our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor from afar is Mr. John S. Lawler. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Marge Inovera. Our customer care representative is Haywood Jabuzoff. Our attorney general in charge of tobacco cases is Hubert H. Humvee III. Our director of catering is Russell Upsomgrub.
That's good.
And the
that
president,
took me a second.
and the president of the Car Talk Hair Club for Men is Emerson Fittibaldi, who, by the way, is also a client. Peekaboo Street directs our intensive care unit, which is known as the Peekaboo ICU. Our junkyard manager is Ricardo Dismontalbon. Our director of moral support is Hugh DeMann. Our sexual harassment counselor is Pat McCann. And our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known to the other Gucci loafered bums in Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. Don't drive like my brother or my sister.
Don't drive like my brother or my sister either.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now, with an important announcement, here is Car Talk Plaza's chief mechanic, Mr. Vinny Gumbax.
Hey, that's me now, huh? Now, hey, look, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is number 18, the number to call is 1-888-CAR-JUNK. You got that?
Yes, and if people wanted other Car Talk things, you know, like coffee mugs and CDs, would they call that same number?
No, you called the Menendez brothers toll-free line, you dope. Of course you call the same number. That's 888-CAR-JUNK, or you can get stuff through the online shameless commerce division at cartalk.msn.com.
Vinny, you're bottling up your feelings again, I can tell.
Have I told you you're ugly recently?
That's better.
Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though Noah Adams' voice goes up an octave every time he hears us say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
On this week's Wildcard podcast, Wanda Sykes says she can have a hard time understanding God.
What is the plan, man? You know?
What is the lesson here?
Yeah, it's like, oh boy, you are in a pickle right now, God. What you gonna do about this?
I'm Rachel Martin. Wanda Sykes is on Wildcard, the show where cards control the conversation.
On NPR's Throughline,
witnesses were ending up dead.
How the hunt for gangster Al Capone launched the IRS to power.
Find NPR's Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
You've probably seen clips from the Jennifer Hudson show's Spirit Tunnel on TikTok or Instagram, the ones where celebrities dance down the hallway to a clever song. These videos can reveal a lot. Do they have rhythm? And how famous are they really? We're breaking down the inescapable internet trend. Listen to the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast from NPR.